Welcome everybody. I'm going to put the itinerary in the chat here as well. We're going to be going over a couple of the things that we've released in the last couple updates while we prepare for our next release. And then we're going to review one of the most common questions that we get quite often, which is how to price your AI subscriptions. And then, of course, we'll have our general Q&A session at the end. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to put those questions in the support chat, and we'll get to those at the end of the meeting. Mo, is this a support meeting? Yes. If you have a question, please feel free to put it in the chat, and we'll get to it in the QA session at the end of this meeting. And of course, if you have any issues, please open a support ticket, because that's the way that we'll be able to get everything fixed for you as quickly as possible. Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Please submit a support ticket so that way we can get your email and your other information, and then we'll be able to we'll get that sorted out for you. Alrighty. So of course, we've got the changelog here. You guys can check this out. Also, for everybody watching on YouTube, roadmap.Stammer.ai gets you to our public roadmap, our public changelog, and our public, the public roadmap. So you can add items, and this is where we're going to be updating more and more things as we work on our next release. But we're just going to review some of these last things so everyone stays up to date. Last week we had 2 small updates, but they're quite useful if you're doing more like deeper stuff. So I'll explain them right here quickly. The first is going to be a small update to the website scraper. And so if you go into any AI agent and you go into a bot, there's now going to be an option called extract only main content with AI. And so what this basically will do is, if it's enabled, it's only going to extract the main content within the page. And this will yield less characters. And the reason why somebody might want to do this is when you're scraping something like documentation, for example. When you're scraping documentation or scraping a website that has a large menu, there's a lot of data that gets added that is not necessarily relevant to what this page specifically might be talking about. All this information, all these links and everything. Typically, if you have this unchecked, the website scraper will scrape all of this data, every word, every piece of content that's on the page. But again, that might not be useful. So if you want, you can enable this. And by default, this is going to be enabled for everybody. So if you want to disable this, you can go in and uncheck it. Again, a small change. And this is for basically you can do kind of these deeper extractions of content. We're also going to have an advanced scraper come out soon that will be able to do things like JavaScript pages, which are think of like PDFs that don't have text that you can copy and paste. It's like a picture of text. Eventually, the scraper will be able to pick up data like that as well, which would be kind of cool. So that's the update to the scraper. And again, there's information about that in the changelog as well as in the documentation. The second change from last week was the agency admin permissions. And this is, again, a small update, but a good one for those of us that like to have maybe our employees or VAs or partners be able to have the same access as you. So now if you go into your users tab and go into any user, there's now an option called agency admin permissions. And when enabled, this gives this user all the permissions that you have access to as the owner of your account, minus the ability to cancel your subscription and delete you as the agency owner, because we figured those are kind of 2 important things. So that's the agency admin permissions. Really helpful for VAs and people helping out with managing your account. And then the last one I want to mention is our ElevenLabs update, which allows you to connect your ElevenLabs API key to get custom voice. that is now live. So if you go into your Vault, there's now an option to add in your ElevenLabs API key. And when enabled, you can take a voice ID from basically any voice on ElevenLabs and paste it in here. So that means that you could create your custom voice or use, one of the other crazy voices that's available to you. But those are, that's basically just custom to whatever you want to do. And that will be shown inside your AI agents when enabled. So for example, we'll go into the settings tab here and scroll to the bottom under advanced settings. There's the enable audio features. This enabled with your ElevenLabs API key added will use your ElevenLabs voice. So that's the main updates. We're working on a couple more things. Our Instagram integration is done, so that will be out next week, along with some other analytics features as well, which would be cool. Again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat, and we'll get to it in a couple minutes. All right, next is going to be how to price your AI subscription packages. This is a question that I know Drew gets a lot. I get a lot as well through the DMs. And this is going to be, I think, helpful for not only existing agency owners, but extremely helpful for new agency owners who are trying to figure out kind of all the different possibilities and things that you could put within your individual AI subscriptions. And I'm not going to go through all of this word by word, but I'm going to touch on the main points here. So we have pricing, what features you're going to provide, and what type of support you're going to provide. And I always like to mention when we're talking about SaaS, software as a service, that second S in SaaS is service. And it's like how big or how much service do you want to provide for your clients? And we'll actually start here. So first, are you expecting the client to do all the work themselves? Is it a DIY offer? Or are you as the agency going to do a lot of that work? Is it a done for you offer? Now, there are pros and cons to both of these. DIY, you'll get a lot more people to sign up because it'll be a cheaper and easier offer for them to understand. But the quality and retention of those users might be a little bit less because they might not be as serious. People might just be trying to try new things out, whatever it may be. On the other side, on the flip side of this, the done for you offer, which could be a little bit more restricted, something that you play a little bit closer to the chest, that is, again, also a higher tier offer because you as the agency are helping and doing the work for them, whether that be the initial setup or the continued maintenance for the client and their individual AI agents. So it really kind of depends on what you're trying to do as your agency. So these are things that I would recommend testing out, like A/B testing yourself, because you might realize or figure out that one works better than the other for you. And the benefit of doing all this is within Stammer, you can do this, either of these very easily. You can create templates and provide those for users, or you can build stuff in your agency account and then copy and clone it into your client sub accounts. All these are available options that you have at your disposal. The second kind of important thing is what type of individual client support that you're going to provide outside of the overarching kind of structure of your general offer. Now, when you sign up with Stammer, we give you white label documentation, which is all of the core items of how AI chatbots work and how you can add information into a knowledge base. And all of that information is in the tab here, white label documentation. And this will give your clients their version or your version of documentation. So it'll all be under your brand. That's a default. The second default that we provide is the AI chatbot inside your dashboard. So you can train one of your AI chatbots, and then you can set that to be the one that shows up in the corner here like we do in our dashboard. And you can do that by going into any of your AI agents, and under internal AI support bot, you can click enable. And then once you log into your white label version of the platform, that will show within their dashboard, like so. So those are two like defaults that you guys have access to from the get-go. The other ones are kind of up to you. Email support, ticketing support. We use Freshdesk, which is decent. Videos like Zoom, kind of like stuff that we're doing right now. Office hours, being available. One-on-one support. We do that through VIP onboardings, calls with Drew that Drew does. These are things that, we try to focus on people for us that are more serious and want to learn more about the platform. So hopefully that's kind of helpful to start thinking about these things, about how you're going to provide, again, that second S in SaaS for support. And we'll go up the line here. So features for the AI agent. Again, these are all different levers that you guys can pull up or down based off of what you want to create and how you want to delineate your 3 different offers and tiers. And we use these 3 to make things simple as much as possible, where we're not trying to overwhelm clients. And that's kind of a big theme here, is there's so much that you could provide, or so many different ways that you could run this, that we want to try to simplify it as much as possible to users into 3 simple options. And so when you're creating your different subscription products, you can create as many different subscription products as you want, but we limit it to 3 that is publicly shown to your clients inside your dashboard. You can have unlimited, and a lot of them will be hidden, like this one, exclusive, but to users, they'll just see the 3 different options. And this allows us to, again, create a very kind of simple low tier, middle tier, and a higher tier, a premium tier, to figure out what you want to include with each of these. And the very simple way to start with this is the amount of AI agents, or the amount of chatbots that you're going to put in each plan. And you might be thinking, well, why would someone want even more than one? Well, typically a lot of agencies will sell an individual AI chatbot to a business for that customer-facing customer support use case, which is incredibly efficient and providing a return on their money very quickly, because people will start talking with it, and then pretty quickly support tickets will be reduced, etc. That's where you can start upselling other individual AI agents and increasing the value of these different tiers. So for example, now you could add one, hey, I want to build one that goes inside my Slack so my internal team can ask questions, or one that my sales team could have access to provide help on sales calls, things like that. That's where more of these AI agents could be specifically geared for different use cases for the same business, based off of the same information in the knowledge base. And that's where the size of the knowledge base comes into play. More is better, basically, but more data needs to be consistent and contextual to what the business is trying to do. So if your client wants to scrape all of Wikipedia, great, and I wouldn't recommend it, but you can charge them for it. And you can basically say, yeah, you can if you want, although I don't recommend it. It's just going to cost you a bunch of money. And again, that's where you can create a premium tier that has a ton more available characters as available space to upload more data. And so you can start to see like the delineation between these tiers becomes kind of more simple when you start to see that, okay, there's just one here and maybe 100K characters, 3 and 1 million, 10 and 10 million, just random-ish numbers to kind of illustrate what you can do here. And these are the 2 kind of only ones that are required. These other ones are essentially optional based off of what you want to provide. Now, quickly, I'll not to keep droning on here, but typically what I'd recommend is general QA, which is kind of a given now. It's expected that the AI is going to be able to provide answers on the information that you add in a knowledge base. That's what we're calling general QA. Every single one of these AI agents that you sell is going to have that, or should have that. Now, more advanced functionality like leads, capturing lead data, qualifying leads, sending and updating a CRM with lead data, that's more advanced functionality, which is why we've actually separated it in a different tab. But you can sell that as an advanced feature. Same as scheduling, and even more so with custom functions and being able to write custom code that is essentially your own IP to allow you to sell these things at a higher tier. And this is a whole nother, this is going to be a whole nother tutorial and a whole video that I actually make about how to price and sell specifically custom functions on top of creating these subscription products that generate monthly recurring revenue, because it really is a whole nother beast. But we had, I think there's a couple of folks. I know one guy sold one for, I think it was like 15,000 euros. So custom functions are where some serious money is at. That being said, where you're going to have your AI agents located, I typically like to have all of these kind of as kind of a basis, or just give kind of these all to all tiers. But again, you could separate these out to where your basic tier only gives them the ability to embed the chatbot on a website, whereas their pro and premium tiers give ability to integrate with other things like the social media integrations or the API and the webhook. So for functionality, that's kind of where things sit. And the final piece is the variables regarding pricing. Now you can set monthly, quarterly, or yearly based off of what you want to do and how you want to create your plans. Typically, I like to give about 2 or 3 months for free when giving a yearly subscription. So if you use these kind of pricings as general, a ballpark, so to speak, I don't really recommend selling anything less than $100 a month. The options out there for something that's like $19 a month is not really, typically just not as good. So keeping it at kind of generally this price is a good starting point. And then using that 2 month or 3 month discount, we would be charging $9.99 per year. And we can use that kind of formula throughout our different tiers based off of what we want, what we want to charge and what's included in each plan. The AI models that you provide, again, could be something that you make as a way to separate your different plans. So for example, in this basic plan, which I'm modeling after this information right here, I could provide only the ability to use ChatGPT 4o mini at 0.003 cents. And this sets it up to where, you don't have the ability to use the more quote unquote advanced model, ChatGPT 4o. That is only reserved for the middle or the premium tiers. These are all things that you can control as these levers for what you want to provide for your different clients. The free trial is where things get quite fun, because this is where you can start to play with your funnel and how you want to get people to be interacting with your brand. Creating a free trial is one of the most powerful ways to increase the amount of people that you get to opt in to your SaaS. So I definitely recommend having a free trial of some sort, whether it's a time-based free trial or a usage-based free trial. And you can do both, or you could do neither. For example, with Stammer, we give both. You have when people sign up, you sign up for a free plan, and we give you, I believe it's X amount of dollars as a wallet credit, so you can test out the entire platform as you want. But we restrict some of those functions, the more advanced functionality, behind a credit card required free trial, which gives you 14 days of time to check out the full functionality of all the things. And again, this is the pros and cons to both of these scenarios. If we don't require a credit card for a free trial, the amount of people that sign up for that free trial will be high. The quality of those people that sign up will be low. And what I mean by that is the amount of people that are serious in this group, comparatively to somebody that we are asking for a credit card, inherently is going to be more serious, because they're literally putting in their credit card and agreeing to the fact that they will be charged on, for example, day 15 scenario that I'm mentioning. So in that scenario, somebody who puts in their credit card is more serious than someone who doesn't. And so that will get you less people, but the quality will be higher. And so again, these are things to play and kind of A/B test with your own agency to see what works. And I would highly recommend taking what we have done at Stammer as a piece of advice, because we've been A/B testing this stuff for over a year and a half, 2 years now. and we've kind of figured out what works and what doesn't work. So that's what we built into the platform. What is working is all of these options in a certain combination. So you can create that combination for yourself and be able to create your own basic, pro, and premium tiers. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, that was like a straight up lecture. I'm going to have a whole video on this, but yeah. Any questions, comments about any of this? I'll have a link to this in the chat here that you guys can use to review as well. But yeah, we'll just go to general questions. If you guys have any items or anything you want to bring up, just feel free to start speaking or put it in the chat. Drew, what'd you think of that?
Yeah, that was great. Hit on all of the big things. The video, the more in-depth video will definitely be helpful as well.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, I'll just mention so next week we will not be having an office hours. I will be traveling, but we will get back to our regular scheduled programming the following week after Labor Day. And we've got some exciting updates for that week as well already planned. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, because that's where we're going to be posting a lot of our videos and tutorials, as well as my own YouTube as well, which is already in the chat. But yeah, I guess if nobody has any other questions, we'll end it here a little bit early. Just leave it open for a couple seconds. Alrighty. Well, thanks everyone for joining. Is it Mo? Is it, if it's related to the Stripe thing, we'll have to take that offline, just for security, because we don't want to make sure we don't expose any payment details. But yeah, definitely. Send me, if you can DM me your email real quick, or DM in the chat here. Drew will be able to schedule a meeting with you, and we can get that sorted.
All right. Thank you, Ross. Safe travels.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks, guys. And Mo, here's a link right here. Cool. Alrighty. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.